Well, first off, thank you for coming to the first ever Tap the Collective. We very much appreciate it. My name is Adam Siegel. I'm the CEO and co-founder of a company called Inkling. We are in the business of offering collective intelligence solutions, so that's why we're interested in hosting this event. And my co-host, Melody Hildebrandt, is the brains and muscle behind the Transcapitalist blog. Before I even say another word, I thought you all should know this. This seems like a prerequisite now to all events. So I don't want to say anything remotely interesting until we put the Twitter tag up. So for anyone tweeting, please use the tag. Before I turn it over to Melody to talk a little bit more about how the evening's going to go, I just wanted to tell a very brief story which I think is illustrative of why we're kind of here, why we got into this business, and why I think this is such an interesting space. We were meeting with a very large product manufacturer a few months ago, and one of the things that we were meeting with a pretty senior level person, one of the things they were telling me about was every quarter, this is a huge company and they have thousands of projects going in this company, and every quarter they collect status information from each of these projects, and you simply have to report whether you are green, yellow, or red on your project. So every quarter the project manager would say, you know, I'm green, which is all good, I'm yellow, which is I've got some problems, or I'm red, I'm having some serious issues. And so this person that I was meeting with did some analysis and found that about 75% of projects were reporting as green, about 25% were reporting as yellow or red, problem areas, right? But what was happening was they would start to compile this information in preparation for presenting it up the food chain in this company. So you had this issue where a project manager would just have their one project, that would get rolled up to someone who owned maybe 5 projects, that would get rolled up to a vice presidential level person who owned 20 projects, and on up the food chain. And what they found was that as the reports were being moved on up, the colors were slowly transforming from yellow and red into green. Where it actually turned out that at the end, when like the most senior level people in the company were looking at these results, it was something like 97% of projects were green and 3% were yellow or red. So they had this huge information flow problem, and they're basically then operating in kind of a fantasy land where the people at the top are making these huge decisions based on falsehoods, and I see a lot of people nodding their head like, yeah, we live in fantasy land too. But this is the kind of stuff that goes on that we hear about all the time. And I think that's why we are so interested in putting this event on and spreading the word about some of the great projects that are going on in government, because they're attacking exactly those kinds of problems, trying to make information more transparent, trying to bring a sense of reality to these organizations where none existed before. So that's my anecdote to kick things off. I'm going to hand it over to Melody, who's going to give you the lowdown on the rest of the evening, and then we'll kick it off with our speakers. So thank you again.
Thanks. As Adam said, we're thrilled to have you all here tonight, and we're really excited to bring together such a thoughtful and diverse group of speakers who really represent thought leaders in collective intelligence from both government and academia, and also private industry and technology companies. And they'll be sharing their insights about their collective intelligence programs and initiatives and what they've learned along the way. So our goals for the evening are to learn about some of these basic CI platforms, also to discuss why they were chosen to begin with, what problems they are meant to address, and also some of the challenges and maybe mitigating strategies that could be associated with pursuing this innovative path. We have professional videographer and photographers here tonight, and we'll be getting in touch with you after the event when those are available. And of course, feel free to distribute without any type of restriction. We would also like to, at the end, of course, open up to a discussion where we want to hear from your point of view, what the questions, concerns you have regarding CI and government. So we'll have a quite robust discussion. So then, with that in mind, we ask that you hold all your questions after each presentation to the end when we open it up to the group. Finally, we would like to say thank you to our generous sponsors who helped make this event both free and to have this great audio-visual system that we have around us. So thanks to Bolt Interactive, which is a great local DC tech startup, a tech company that also has some successful startups, including RushMyPassport.com, and also to Palantir Technologies, which is a company that helps to better visualize the world's information, and we'll be hearing a little bit more detail about that later tonight.